November, and the skies are rather dramatic. Still colour, and we'll have a look and see what there is. As it's November, I thought we'd start off by looking at berries. It's been a very good year for setting fruit. And look at this rose with its massive hips. I think it's called fire dance, I'm not entirely sure. It's got large red single, very scented flowers. It's wonderful. But the hips are amazing. Passing underneath the olive, we're confronted by this magnificent sight, which is the Photinia in full berry against the blue sky. Isn't that gorgeous? This, I think, is Photinia glabra, and it has great big rounded leaves, as you can see, with its very attractive berries. I had it as something completely different, but I think this is actually Photinia glabra. Rather an untidy grower, this cestrum from South America is probably best grown as it is here, in a shrub tree, another plant, so that it can support it. And I think that it looks really nice now, with the white passion flower in the background. Now here's another Photinia. Photinia beauverdiana. Lovely load of berries as well. I'll just take you through here to see the lovely autumn flowering camellias. Camellias sasanqua. Apparently the Japanese didn't believe these were true camellias because they flowered such a different time of year, and they gave the name sasanka to them. But they are camellias. Of course, the received wisdom is that these camellias do not flower in shade very well. Well, I think here's a case in point where that is actually not true, because this is under a big cedar of Lebanon. You can see the amazing spread of this bush of Camellia Hugh Evans. Probably the closest to the natural sasanqua occurring in the wild. Small single pink flowers. And the problem with these sasanqua camellias is they are very fleeting. The flowers drop off after a couple of days, so trying to put them in a vase is very difficult. They don't last. They drop off on your way back to the house. But they are beautiful. And added bonus, they are scented. This is a yellow-berried form of our native holly. Lovely. Very glossy. The yellow berries are. Very glossy. Makes a good show. Not touched by the birds either. Next door to it, there's a towering holly with a camellia-like leaf. In fact, this is the traditional holly hybrid, high clear, originally Alta clarensis, and this has spawned many, many different forms. This one with almost entire non-toothed leaves is one of my favourites. Newly planted by the Camellias is this fabulous small tree. It's a hybrid between the Sorbaronia and an Aronia, which is in fact a sort of suckering shrub, but with fantastic autumn colour. So this is a hybrid between the two, both members of the rose family. So I have hopes that this will really zing out in the autumn. Sorbaronia licorice. Okay, Bertie, shall we get going? Good boy. Yes. Walk along here to see the autumn colours. The cercis on the left and the maples beginning to appear on the right hand side. I find that here we've got what used to be called senkaki, sengakaku. Here's a nice yellow, and the deliberate thing was to contrast it with the scarlet of Acer Osakazuki, which I find is the most reliably autumn colouring of the Japanese maples here in the southwest of England, where we don't have a continental climate. Fabulous tree. And equally good, but of course out of reach, is the another Acer called Bloodgood, which has red leaves all through the summer, and it's got these wonderful autumn colours. And just behind it, the very top of a liquid amber called Warples, and these have got so large now over the 40 odd years that I've planted them, that really the only thing you notice to start with is the wonderful coloured leaves on the path. And below it in this bed is a hardy begonia from China. Always a bit of a problem because it's gorgeous, but you just sort of glimpse the flowers underneath, and you have to really lift a leaf to find them. And there they all are, beautiful, but hidden under the leaves, which is rather sad, but a good late flower. If we come in close, I'm just going to linger at the log, one of the edging logs that has started to rot, and you get these wonderful fungi forming on them. Gives an added bit of interest there. Anyway, let's go underneath the leaves. Have a look at these pretty pink flowers. I've noticed this year the This autumn, the seeds and the berries are fantastic. And this rather large shrub, if not small tree, from China is a case in point. The seeds are everywhere covering the tree, and they've got a lovely sort of reddish colour to them, which makes it extra colourful. I think it's just wonderful. This is a tree called Heptacodium. Intriguing. This is, as you can see from the trunk, it forms a massive tree, and it's had to be cut right back because it was in the way of the view of the obelisk. But another feature of this, some forms anyway, have amazing sort of curled leaves. Not all of them do have this, but this one does, and it makes rather a good effect. I mean, sometimes I can't find one which I can reach easily, but sometimes it looks a bit like you're looking down a tunnel, which is rather funny, really. Moving on from that Heptacodium, along here is a largish shrub of quite an old variety of winter camellia called plantation pink. Can be quite shy flowering, but this one is absolutely covered in buds. But here's a flowering branch, and see the flower. It's a really pretty pink large pink single flower. Lurking in the undergrowth is another winter camellia, which I think is terribly reliable and very floriferous. It goes by the name of Gay Sue. Has lovely shaped flowers. I'm always excited by the first flowering of a plant. In this case, this is a camellia which flowers through the year and has proved very popular. A recent introduction. It's got a rather strange name of 1001 Nights Jasmine. This is a hybrid between the very confusing Camellia azalea, nothing to do with azaleas, otherwise Camellia changii, and Dr. Clifford Parkes, which is half Camellia reticulata and half Camellia japonica. So it's got 50% Camellia changii, 25% japonica, and 25% reticulata. It does have a very long flowering season, which goes on from spring until now, autumn. So I'm sure it's going to be a very popular, the Camellia azalea is going to be a very popular parent to prolong the flowering season. At the moment it's a bit tender for the very north of the country.